Good morning, everyone. So I've been in Mannar for the last 12 years. I left Sri Lanka when I was 9 years old because my parents could see the writing on the wall for Sri Lanka. I didn't want to go, but I was forced to go. I actually went and tried to find a family, and I found a family who would adopt me because I was very connected to this place. But, you know, as a 9-year-old, they don't have much power, so I was kind of yanked and taken to Australia. But I knew that I would come back. And so I've been back for 12 years now and living in Mannar. And I think Sri Lanka goes through one trauma after the other, and so does Mannar. It's interesting in terms of the resource talk that was just given, because we're affected by wind power, we're affected by human resources, and particularly mining. So since 2015, an Australian-based company, Titanium Sands Limited, has been carrying out secretive exploration. And they have discovered that there is 53 million tonnes of high-grade mineral sands in Mannar. And primarily out of that, ilmenite is the standout. Now, ilmenite goes to make titanium metal, which is lightweight, and it's used from everything from paints and ceramics to spaceships and aircraft. So it's a highly valuable mineral and metal, and it's worth billions of US dollars. So at this time in Sri Lanka's history, wow, this is a great thing. This can save the country, but it won't. Now, in Mannar, we're not against mining, but we have to do the cost-benefit analysis. And for the last 2 years, we've been doing this and discovered that no, we want to say a very, very strong no to ilmenite ilmenite mining. So Titanium Sand says that the deposit in Mannar is the 4th largest in the world. And they say this is going to be a low impact, low social, environmental, economic impact. They've already drilled 4,300 holes, and now they're ready for mining. And the CEO of the company, even though there is no exploration license granted to them, he's confident that in December this year they're going to start their operation. So the cost-benefit analysis tells us that, first of all, Mannar, 63% of Mannar is already below sea level. It's a sand island, and if you understand the geology of it, there is seawater, then there's a kind of bubble, and then there is the freshwater aquifer above that. Now, if a bulldozer goes down and penetrates that bubble, then seawater comes up, seawater intrusion. And I've talked to many environmentalists, and the greatest danger to Mannar is seawater intrusion. Now, once that happens, it is not inhabitable. 2/3 of the population of Mannar live on the island. Now, once seawater intrusion happens, all your fresh water is gone, your wells, your drinking water, all of that. Your plants die, your animals die, and your people need to be relocated. Now, they've just been through almost 3 decades of war at huge displacement. This will be further trauma. Now, if we look at the operation, Geological Surveys and Mines Bureau, they have given out 9 exploration licenses to 5 Sri Lankan companies and 1 individual. Now, what happened was 2 Mauritian companies bought these licenses and Titanium Sands Limited, the Australian company, bought the Mauritian licenses. Now, but under GSMB, you are not permitted to transfer a license from one company to another. But on the Australian Stock Exchange, Titanium Sands Limited says, we've got the licenses, everything we're doing is legal. Also, the Mines and Minerals Act says that you cannot drill below the water table. Now, the water table in Mannar is fairly high, 1 to 3 meters. The exploration holes have gone down 12 meters, and they've discovered ilmenite sand even at a very deep level. So this is also illegal. Now, the Coastal Conservation Act says that if anything is detrimental to the environment and the coastal environment, they will not agree to any mining license. TSL, Titanium Sands Limited, just changes its plans just to fit with what is acceptable and not. Now, they have earmarked 93% of Mannar Island for mining, and this is going to be more than a 50-year project. Can you imagine what's going to happen to Mannar? You know, Mannar is a birding capital of Sri Lanka. Over 400 species of birds come there. Many of them are migratory birds from Australia or Russia. So this is very significant. Its deer and its wild boar population will be wiped out. Its old growth palmyra forest will be gone. Tourism, which was picking up quite nicely, will be decimated as well. So Titanium Sand says they're not going to mine near the coastal areas. But these are just deceptions, because if they've earmarked 93% of the island, this will go ahead. Now, one of the real eye-openers for us was going to Pulmore. And we spoke to people at many different levels, and it is a disaster, because nothing grows. Where they have mined, nothing grows. Because once they mine, they take the sand, they extract all the goodness, all the minerals are gone from it. And when they put the sand back, it is not compacted. So your agriculture is gone, your trees and forests are gone. Any protests that have occurred there, people have been, just like has happened in Colombo, they've been identified, arrested, and you know, the incessant going to court to defend themselves. We in Mannar are really against mining, because we know this is the destruction of this very fragile area of Sri Lanka. It is also really, really historic. Before Anuradhapura was Mannar. Now the excavations and the archaeological digs have really not happened in Mannar. It has a huge history, which will also be lost. So we are trying to protest, but we know there are very, very powerful people behind, because this company is supremely confident that this is going to go ahead. Now, I'm here today because we need all the support we can on many different levels. The people, we've held protests in Mannar, and just a couple of weeks ago we've got about 1,000 people. This is not enough. We need 5,000 to 10,000 people. But the main coverage we get is from the Tamil press, and the Tamil press doesn't permeate Colombo and Kandy and those other areas. So we need the support of Colombo particularly, and the people here, and your good selves, who know and understand what we are fighting on many different levels to help us out. So that's a little bit about the sand mining. Because wind power was talked about, I just briefly want to talk about wind power. Now we have I don't know, 32 wind turbines that have been erected. Again, no consultation with the community. Now, what happened in December and January, there were massive floods in Mannar, on Mannar Island, the worst in more than 60 years. Why? Because there was a road built connecting all of these wind turbines, and there were 14 natural channels for the water from the land to go to the sea. Now, many of these natural channels have been blocked by the road, so there was massive flooding. Thousands of families were left destitute, houses flooded, all their agriculture gone. But no one ever talks about those kind of unintended consequences of natural resources. And finally, just on education, do you know that up until July of this year, schools in Mannar were open for 3 days a month? During the 2 COVID years, 71 days schools were opened in 2020 and 2021. Education is now practically destroyed. The number of children dropping out of school, and then the drug lords are there to pick them up, offer them money, and so a whole drug trade is happening. So human resources, natural resources are, just so important, but we need to look deeply into the consequences and the effects of when we think, it's the golden cow, but it could lead to our destruction. So any help and support that you could give us in Mannar would be much appreciated. Thank you.